Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Hello all, and good evening and happy Easter to you all. Welcome to the club. Well, I don't even know. I even lost my sense of my intro, but what's all going on, guys? There we go. I'm back on track. What is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993. In order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And this is the man himself. And we are live. I was not expecting to go live for the show originally after the letdown and just the slap across the face of reality we had this past Monday night on Raw. I just had the fear for the worst for SmackDown. So I was not planning on going live for SmackDown. But after seeing SmackDown, which wasn't like, oh my goodness, it's one of the greatest shows of all time. No, it was better. Better than what Raw was. And you can tell Triple H touched this show. It still was nothing like great. It was manageable. It got some stuff set up for the future. Some storylines, progressed. A lot more wrestling. Apparently, I didn't realize this. Raw this past week, out of the 3 hours, there was only 30 minutes of wrestling this past week on Raw. That's nice. That's not a good excuse. That's inexcusable for a wrestling show. And yes, I know, you definitely know Vince is involved with when sports entertainment is said instead of professional wrestling, as we had gotten right before Vince McMahon had come back. But, it's, shows like this I'd rather have. I'd rather have a show where it's like, even though there's like not a lot going on, there's some stuff going on that's keeping me alert and intrigued. So, after this episode, because the rumor is that Vince McMahon was not in Portland for this episode of SmackDown. He did kind of go over some things remotely, though, made a few minor changes from what I hear, but nothing major compared to what happened on Raw this past week. Triple H was in charge of this show indeed. So, okay, that makes me feel better. For now. I will, of course, hope that this stays the case where Triple H is, writing the shows. Vince just reads over it, doesn't make any drastic change. As long as Vince is not there, I don't think he'll be doing these, during the show changes and whatnot. It's got to get more under control. Ari Emanuel, again, has to put some type of foot down here. I'm still confused as to whether or not Vince will have be the majority shareholder after the sale goes through or not. Because it makes it seem like in some cases they do, but in some cases I've read that he isn't. He is going to still have to be the majority shareholder. So I don't know. But so, again, as long as somebody has power over Vince, that could mean something. If Vince continues to pull this crap like he's doing, and the sale still goes through, then, for sure, they should consider firing him. But, of course, we as fans cannot let down our guard. Yes, we had a solid episode of SmackDown. That was worthwhile your time. Again, it wasn't astronomically awesome, but it was still a good show that made you want to keep watching what's next. But I will say this. Do not do not let your guard down on the hashtag Fire Vince chants. Make sure to keep hashtag Fire Vince going loud as proud on anywhere you post. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Just keep it going until Vince McMahon is out of power. As he should be. Because he does not deserve to be in any sort of power at all whatsoever. So, but like I said, because of course, it was better. And again, it wasn't an unreal, awesome, oh my goodness, must-see show. Whoops, I can't over. Again, it was still reasonable, so I wanted to go live, get your thoughts. I know it may not have been the best time, because I know a lot of people are probably out doing Easter stuff, or some people do like Easter vigil masses for those who go to church, and whatnot. I'm going to be going to a service in the morning, because I'm going to be also helping live stream it with a colleague of mine. But I do hope you're all having a great and blessed Easter. And again, I also had some time to kill because I had to pick up my sister-in-law at the airport at midnight tonight. So I had some time to kill, so I'm just knocking out a couple things. Also, after this review, I will be uploading another commercial. I meant to make a commercial during WrestleMania week for my Demand's First WrestleMania Experience documentary that I made on my trip to WrestleMania 35. I just did not have the time to finish it, but I finished it tonight and it's been exported. I will be uploading it after this stream. So expect to see that coming as well. But without further ado, let's roll into this review of SmackDown. Again, it took place in Portland, Oregon. And it is the Fallout show from WrestleMania 39. And we also, and it's also on the road to WWE's Backlash. And Triple H was advertised for this show as he had some other type of announcement to make. Of course, that was the biggest hype going into the show. People were wondering what this is going to be. Was this going to be just another, WrestleMania, rah, 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 WrestleMania was awesome speech? Well, it kind of was a repeat of Monday, but not quite. Because something actually did come out of it. But let's roll in and talk about this show. So the show opened up with a wrestling match. It did not open up with Triple H. It opened up with the Brawling Brutes, Butch, Ridge Holland, and Sheamus. I'm hoping with Vince lurking around again, I'm hoping that God does not put a halt on the plans to have Butch go back to being Pete Dunne. As it was recently revealed that indeed Triple H intended on making Butch Pete Dunne again. But with how over the Brawling Brutes got, he put that on hold. So that is supposed to be coming soon. What I was hearing rumors of before Vince McMahon went power hungry again and whatnot. But they took on Imperium, which of course is the Intercontinental Champion Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci. Or Buzz Lightyear, I think, because I keep thinking for some reason Vinci just looks a lot like Buzz Lightyear. I don't know what it is, but anyways, the match was good. These guys always have had excellent chemistry. We've seen this match happen a lot, though. Of course, their best match is still that Donnybrook match that happened at WrestleMania. Not WrestleMania, at the at Extreme Rules. I've already started to, I'm gonna get a little sleepy here. Sorry about that, guys. But that was a good way to kick off the show. The Brawling Brutes win with a bro kick from Sheamus onto Vinci. Can somebody else please eat the pins for Imperium whenever they take a loss instead of Vinci? That's getting a little old. Well, probably be Kaiser then, but definitely can't be Gunther. No. Person who pins Gunther has to be someone special. Kind of like how it was whenever in NXT UK. In a tag match, I remember Ilya Dragunov did pin Gunther before he eventually would go on to dethrone Gunther in their second match they had, which was at TakeOver 36. Oh. So we then get a recap of Raw's main event scenario this past week with Brock Lesnar beating down Cody Rhodes. Commentary, for some reason, this was kind of dumb, but speculated that the reason why Brock attacked Cody was because he was upset he had to go on first at WrestleMania. which I'm like, what? Like, if that's the story they go with, that was stupid. I'm hoping that was just a typical Wade Barrett dub heel, assumption or something. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping it's not the story they for real go with, but can't trust it with Vince around. We have Paul Heyman being interviewed backstage, who of course does a quick Passover riff to dodge the question. But of course, I think Paul Heyman is Jewish, so he does celebrate Passover. He dodges the question about Brock's motive and says he wants to talk about the Tribal Chief and how the Bloodline main evented both nights of WrestleMania, and Roman is now approaching 1,000 days as champion. He's, I think, 950 now, I believe it is. Jey Uso rolls up, wants to chat with Paul, and says, has anybody seen Jimmy? Heyman says Jimmy isn't here tonight because Roman wanted him to stay at home and watch TV as Jey takes Sammy out all by himself. Jay's like, okay. And then when he goes to leave, Solo Sikoa is standing there, and Paul tells Solo that if Jey doesn't come through, he'll have to solve their problems. So again, there's obviously still like that thing where Roman Reigns obviously does not have as much faith in the Usos right now because, they lost their match. And lost their titles at WrestleMania. Then, of course, there's also Solo Sikoa, who took his first loss last week on Raw against Cody Rhodes. So now it's in Roman's head, the whole thing about, is he ready? Or whatnot. So, of course, that's still lingering around, too. Ricochet and Ivar had a one-on-one match. There was a stipulation here where Braun Strowman and Eric were banned from ringside. Felt a little bit random. That might have been a Vince thing there, because that did feel just a slight bit random, in my opinion. But, surprisingly, though, Vince did not touch this match, because this was actually a good match. Ivar and Ricochet. If Vince is in charge, they probably would have had it be like a 2-minute squash match. Ivar squashes Ricochet. And we probably would have had Ivar doing his, as they used to call it back in the day, turkey foot romance with the, you're cute, you not so much. That bullshit, and that anything you can do, I can do better feud that the Street Profits had with the Viking Raiders in 2020. That was so bad. Oh gosh, that was so bad. I still remember that random cinematic brawl they had at Backlash. The greatest wrestling match of all time hype with Edge and Randy Orton. But the match they had with the Street Profits fighting the Viking Raiders, and then they encountered Akira Tozawa and some freaking ninjas, and then the match ended, the camera cut when they were dumped into dumpsters. It was so stupid and made no sense. Just probably had Vince just sitting back and laughing, but again, surprisingly, Ricochet and Ivar had a good match, and Ricochet won clean. He beat Ivar clean. I'm like, okay, cool. They made both of them look pretty good. So, glad to see Ricochet get a solid win there in a very solid match given time. Then we have Sami Zayn. Rolls up to his tag partner and fellow tag champion, KO. KO says Sami's match against Jey tonight is a good way to put their business with the Bloodline behind them and then be done with them. Sami's like, okay, but something about this feels off. He doesn't know how to put it. And he says what Owens is saying is true, but he can't shake the feeling that he's got to talk to Jey. He feels a sense of obligation. KO says the Bloodline is crumbling, but he doesn't think that's going to bring Jey to the table. No, he's going to be more vicious and volatile. And KO knows he can't talk Sami out of this, but he's got to tell him it's a bad idea and he shouldn't do it. Sami's like, I agree, but I still have to do it. It'll be okay. So, I guess is that Sami Zayn thinking, because obviously he knows that Roman's lost faith in them. Again, he basically had Heyman like lie to them and tell them that he wasn't where he was. And just to cover up the fact that, again, Rowan has lost faith. And again, Sammy trying to talk to him, and it's like, hey, you realize I'm telling the truth here, and your blood relative is not. But it just sets up later on for their match later on in the show. We have a match between Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi Blackheart. Just a random ass tag match, probably just to get the new number one contenders on the card. Because Ronda and Shayna again are both hurt apparently, so they won't be fighting yet for the tag titles. But they could be waiting, of course, until they get back. Just having Becky and Lita hold on to them just a little bit longer. But I'm pretty sure they probably would have been fighting them if they didn't get hurt. Which, once again, why again did they even have Ronda and Shayna wrestle that match and win it, even though Ronda was hurt? I still don't get that. I still really do not get that. Backstage, we have Madcap Moss with Emma playing video games with Xavier Woods, where we see Mr. L.A. Knight. Let me talk to you. Yeah. I'm sure he wouldn't have had that on the show if Vince was in charge. Because we would have had him being Max Dupree again, which was so freaking creepy. What a freaking creep. L.A. Knight that rolls up to mock them and complains about not being at WrestleMania. And he's mad that Xavier got to be on the show for up, down reasons. Woods says he'd rather complain than create his own solutions, and he worked instead of talked. He probably would have made himself a spot on the card. Knight says he won't be playing video games, he'll be playing his game, and he breaks Xavier's controller. Okay, we're continuing a feud with LA Knight and the New Day. Unless this leads to Big E coming back and he feuds with LA Knight, that'd be different, but I don't know. I'm still not confident that Big E is going to be on his way back anytime soon, but so I'm not 100% sure what this was supposed to do, but you know. All right, then of course the thing we were all anticipating about hearing. What was Triple H going to say this week? Well, on this show. He basically came out and went, rah, rah, WrestleMania, rah, rah. No, we're not going anywhere, rah, rah. Vince is actually backstage, but he didn't say that, of course, but, you know. He basically was just kissing our asses before we put on a bad show. Anyways, though, Triple H comes out. And at first, it's almost an exact repeat of what Monday was. He says there's nothing like WrestleMania, greatest athletes making history on the grandest stage of them all. Hearts are broken, dreams are fulfilled, this year's show exceeded expectations, blah, blah, blah. It did all this and that. Great viewers. But now it's time to put this behind us and we look to the future. He's here to announce that in just a few short weeks, which makes me think they don't know the exact date yet, although I keep hearing May 8th, that they're going to once again have a WWE draft. A night that changes the future and the destiny of every WWE superstar in the back. This year's draft will be bigger than ever, with every single superstar eligible. So I'm guessing we'll probably have a few NXT call-ups there. I still think maybe Braun Breaker, even though he had just turned heel on NXT this week and seemingly continuing his feud with Carmelo Hayes. So I don't know if he will still get called up or not. I still think we could see Cameron Grimes get called up because he hasn't been used on TV in months from what I've heard. So it might be time just to give the guy a call and have him straight up to the main roster by going to the moon. There's a good chance we could see Roxanne Perez. I think she could be coming up. Maybe Cora Jade? Although I think she also is going after Indy Hartwell now for the NXT Women's Champion along with Tiffany Stratton. But I think there is a chance that they could call up Cora. Not sure if they would call up a few others or whatnot, but, we will see. But I think there probably will be some NXT call-ups we get in that draft for sure. I don't know what this means, though, for the championships. I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to split the titles or if they're going to just keep them together. And then there was that I mean, it'd be dumb at this point because they did again tease Bianca versus Rhea, and they're both champions, so they could do like a title merger. But if they're gonna do a draft, then split the titles. If they were gonna do a draft, then here's the thing too, they could do a draft and just have like say Roman gets kept on SmackDown, because I figure he would, because SmackDown has more money. Have him go to SmackDown, but just have his 2 titles be on one belt, and then just have one brand new belt for Raw. If that's how they want to do it. I'm still pretty sure Cody's going to be completely dethroning Roman. But, so yeah, I'm not sure how the draft's going to benefit. I mean, like I said, we've got a little bit more of a roster. I mean, it's still smaller, though. I don't think there's enough talent yet that have been seasoned for a brand split, but could still lead to that. We'll see what happens, but that's going to be in a few weeks. And then afterwards, he basically endorsed Rhea Ripley. She came out, and Triple H shook each of the hands of the Judgment Day just to kind of put them over and endorse them. Fine, but once again, it was just, there was a little bit of repetition in that segment. But it actually did lead to actual something. We also then have Rhea cut a promo saying how April 1st will go down as the night sports entertainment changed history because she did the impossible. Finn then says Edge the coward who had to split his head open to get a victory, and Dominic Mysterio, who got probably the most heat on this show, and he was getting booed out of the building, and he was not really able to get a word in, and he gets drowned out, and then he basically says that he had to hold back against his dad because he loves his dad and he couldn't hurt him, but Ray decided to hurt him basically. So now he's trying to turn the tables on him. And then of course we get a recap of what happened on Raw this past week with Bad Bunny, and again that they seem to definitely veer away from Legado del Fantasma and call them entirely with Rey Mysterio the Latino World Order. So they came out, and then it's set up for a match with Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio taking on Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar. The match was solid. Based off of some outside interference, though, Damian Priest was able to pin Escobar with the South of Heaven. I don't know why he stopped using the Reckoning. That's been his finisher lately, but they get the victory. Again, it's probably going to still be seeing the match with Priest and Dom taking on Ray and Bad Bunny, though, at Backlash, which should be a solid match. I still want to see Bad Bunny versus Rey Mysterio one-on-one. I think that would be a good match, in my opinion. We then see Sami Zayn walking backstage looking for Jey Uso. He then finds him, and then Sami says maybe KO was right. He doesn't want to talk, but there's one thing he has to say. And that there's a way out of what he's dealing with. Everything he's said is coming true. The bloodline is crumbling. Jimmy ain't here. Roman's mad at them. And Heyman is telling him lies. And Solo's ready to drop the hammer on him. He'll beat it into him if he has to. That's how it has to be. So that's not how it has to be. And then we hear some type of a clanging in the distance just to find out that someone, most likely Solo Sikoa, dropped a road case and it landed, tipped over a road case and it landed on Kevin Owens' knee. So basically leaving Sami with no help in the main event. Sami took on Jey, and because of some outside interference from Solo Sikoa, Solo basically did exactly what they did that cost Sami Cody his match on Sunday with the Samoan Spike and right to the finisher. Jey then wins with a super kick. And after the match, Solo starts going in and lays down Sami while Jey watches. And then Solo's about to get ready to hit another Samoan Spike, but then Jey grabs his hand. And now, before we were waiting for Jay to turn on Sammy. Now we're waiting for Jay to actually come to his senses and turn on the bloodline. And we got a tease there, but nope, he then hits Sammy with a super kick. They then go to set up Sammy in the corner of the chair for Soul to do his little hip attack. But then Matt Riddle's music hits. And we all know, well, Matt Riddle returned to Raw this past week, but Matt Riddle does have a little bit of a history with Solo, because Solo was the one who took out Riddle when they wrote him off TV. But we're continuing the story for Matt Riddle wanting to get his revenge. Could they maybe be doing Matt Riddle versus Solo Sikoa at Backlash, maybe? Nice fresh pay-per-view idea. Could work. We'll have to wait and see, though. I mean, of course, could it maybe the match happen and lead to Randy Orton returning? Although I am hearing now, apparently, Randy Orton is not as close to being ready as they originally thought he would be coming back. But we'll see. And that was SmackDown, guys. I'll read your thoughts in the live chat real quick here, but I gave the show a B-. Like I said, it was better, so I'm not going to pull the plug on Raw and SmackDown reviews yet. Let's just see how the next couple of weeks go. But like I keep saying, keep the hashtag Fire Vince trending. Please. Let's check the live chat here. We had Tyler in the live chat saying, "Hi Mike, hashtag Fire Vince. I'm sick of Roman with 2 titles already. Get used to it. It'll probably be the case till SummerSlam, buddy." Tyler gave the show a C+. No Wrestling News 365. I don't think Vince booked this show. It felt like a Triple H show. Again, I'm pretty sure some of those matches would not have been given the time they got, especially like that Ivar and Ricochet match. The idea of like Eric and Strowman being banned from ringside was kind of random, but I still think Vince booked it. I mean, not Vince. I still think Triple H, booked most of this show. So I can believe this is the Triple H show. Since we're getting the 6-man tag team match, the main event Backlash between the Usos and Solo versus Solo Sikoa versus Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. We could, but based off, of course, the Usos pinning Sammy, with Jay pinning Sammy, I'm sure that means they're going to want to get another shot for the tag titles. So they could do that, and Matt Riddle versus Solo, get Solo's first singles match on the card if you wanted to. Split the world and tag titles. Do you think Knight Wright will become the King of the Ring? Oh, LNO will become King of the Ring winner under Triple H? It's not a bad idea. I feel like he should either be King of the Ring or have him win Money in the Bank. But I feel like Cody probably would more so have to go for Money in the Bank, in my opinion. What if Dominic wins King of the Ring match and he teases that he and Rey Mysterio's face that I've done something you'll never do? That they could do as well. That's not a bad idea either. And Triple H is very high on Dom, so that is a possibility. Do not roll out King Dom, the king of the ex-con king, Dominic Mysterio. Now, SmackDown Women's scene is going to suck again without Charlotte. I mean, yeah, she is taking a break from what I've heard, but we'll see how it goes with what Rio tries to do to work with that SmackDown Women's division. Do you think if Cody Rhodes dethroned Roman Reigns, do you think that's almost a couple is going to dethrone Roman Reigns? That's Solo Sikoa. It's going to be slow and Roman for both titles. Not sure what he means there, but I still think Cody will dethrone Roman at SummerSlam. Maybe Vince was backstage on SmackDown, but he could have been on FaceTime with Triple H the whole night when Michael Cole said that this is Triple H's company. Could have, yeah, because, Vince McMahon tries to kiss our asses and try to trick us, but once again, we're not stupid. And WWE was going to give Rhea a title. Why could it be the Raw Women's title and crush Bianca instead at WrestleMania 39? Guess because they wanted to have, a Rhea right a big wrong. Then again, Asuka needed to right a big wrong as well, but I guess they're not in on Asuka yet. But I'll be predicting my Backlash match card soon, so we'll see which matches I do come up with that'll be on that card. But guys, I'm getting a little sleepy. I might just rest my eyes for a few minutes because, again, I do have to go to the airport around midnight to pick up my sister-in-law. So that'll be a little bit like a chill period for me. And then we'll go from there. So guys, thank you guys for joining me for this live review of SmackDown. Gave the B-. Not pulling the plug yet on Raw and SmackDown reviews. Again, after the stream, I will be uploading my commercial for my WrestleMania, my first WrestleMania experience documentary. Again, I meant to upload it as like my day 7 of like my throwback posts on like Twitter, Instagram, and of course some went to TikTok. But again, I just didn't finish it in time. But it is done. I will be uploading it. Make sure to give it the likes. Give that WrestleMania documentary a look at as well. I'll post a link, of course, in the description of that. As well. And yeah, just make sure, as always, gotta stay tuned for more content on my channel. I did start working on the next Roller Coaster Tycoon Park last night. I won't be able to finish it probably tonight, and I started working on the next episode of the Wolf Bell Wolfenstein 3D series. So hopefully those will get done soon as well. And again, as always, I continue to bring more content on the channel. And I will try at some point also to work on a Backlash predicted match card. The views for the WrestleMania one was decent. Still not what was, but better than it was towards the end when I was lucky to even get like 20 views on those. But I got close to 600, I believe. Yeah, let me double check. How many views did I get on my WrestleMania predicted match card? Let me see here. Let me see here. $635. Not bad, but back when I used to get a couple thousand views, those were, very well worth it. Especially, too, if I had my road to 2,000 subscribers. And I'm at like 1,845 now, so close to about 150 remaining. You guys want to try to get whatever content out there I can right now. So I think that will do it, guys. So again, that's my review of SmackDown. Gave the show B-. What are your guys' thoughts on SmackDown? Make sure you guys leave your thoughts down in the comments section below. Make sure to comment #FireVince. Be sure to slap a like on the video. Subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at the Club of the Man 93, where you can get #Vince trending. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram, where you can also find ways to get #Vince McMahon training. #FireVince trending as well. But follow me on TikTok and Instagram as well at the Club of the Man 1993. And again, after this is done, I will be uploading that commercial. So please make sure to check it out, give it a like, share it with people, and also make sure to check out the documentary itself. So until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch y'all later. And as always, remember, guys, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself.